Madjus, and I'm honored with the opportunity to run for the secretary position. This position is crucial as it provides general members with an overview of each week, and it also provides board members with documentation of all fusion-related logistics. As such, the secretary requires 3 traits: someone who is committed, organized, and consistent. Throughout my experience here at UCI, I have been improving upon these 3 qualities, and of all the board positions, I feel that I'm best tailored towards the secretary position. This year, I tested the limits of my responsibilities that I can juggle, but I didn't let that stop me from being committed to the roles that I signed myself up for. To start at work, I was known as one of the fastest trainees to learn the job, and that's because I consistently put my best foot forward so that I wouldn't let my coworkers down. And second, I was a project manager for 4 video game projects already out of the 6 that I've worked on. I've made sure to keep track of all of the documentation for each department within a Google Drive, so anything related to art, programming, game design, user experience, and more. I made sure to make sure everything's in an organized fashion and check up on these departments in a weekly fashion. This role required intensive organization skills, and having a bird's eye view of the projects allowed me to delegate these tasks. And being an administrative presence allowed my teammates to zero in on their tasks without having to worry about what the other roles were doing. During my internship with OnClass, I took the initiative to start planning for important projects and events such as our On-Turn Week and Lift Up. Organizing and planning these documents allowed the interns to have a general structure for what details we needed to address. And not only was this a role where I took charge, but it was also a role where creating the documentation allowed me to kind of step back and also give other interns that space to grow as leaders as well. And on top of being a commuter of all this busyness, I still managed to maintain my straight A's this year, and equally so, I made it a priority to foster all my friendships in this club as an active member. I know that I'm capable of being committed to a lot of things, but next year I plan to improve the quality of my leadership rather than taking up more responsibilities, and that way I can keep up with the high standard that the secretary position requires. One of these things I hope to enhance the position is to make it more administrative, because the secretary is responsible for keeping track of all board notes and events. They're able to track which events are upcoming and to check in on any events that haven't been planned yet, to just be that assertive voice and to initiate the conversation to start planning meetings in a timely manner. All in all, although this is my first year in this club, I had such a rich experience with all the friends that I had made along the way. And as someone who doesn't live anywhere near this campus, I finally felt like I found my home with this club, and I was able to learn so much about myself, gain countless memories that I cherish, and even found a place to hone my leadership skills through the internship experience. And I hope to continue giving back to this organization no matter what I end up doing. But all in all, thank you for your time, and that's my focus. As an executive board member, I think I really value the social support aspect of it. I know secretary is a position that is more behind the scenes, but I think just being a board member in general and reaching out to those who are more quiet in this club really makes a big difference in terms of making this community closer together. So social would be one of the pillars that I would like to uphold the most.
Duties for secretary this year is to act as a meeting coordinator to ensure that general meeting hosts are planning in a timely manner. What will you do to execute and/or plan upon this duty?
Yeah, so I would like to touch on my experience of being a project manager for my video game projects. So I have a lot of experience with reaching out to people and making sure we can find a good time to plan these meetings, and just being that initiating voice and taking a proactive approach to making sure we meet deadlines. And I know in the past we've had to plan meetings like 2 weeks in advance, but I think that hasn't been really enforced. It's been something that's more optional, so I plan to be more assertive in terms of reaching out to meeting hosts and planning stuff.
The next question is, you are planning to graduate this upcoming fall. Can you share with us your plans for next year and how you will continue to be involved in Fusion even though you will not be a student?
Yeah, so that me graduating early is one of the things that made me want to run for a board position. Initially, that I questioned if I should run for a board position, but because I won't be a student anymore, I feel like as a student right now, academics and classes is one of the main limiting factors for putting my best in my positions. So it'll be very interesting to see what a board position will be like without that responsibility of being a student. And I feel like I can put even more time into this club because I don't have that responsibility anymore.
Next question is, as secretary is a behind-the-scenes role, how do you plan to show your executive board member presence in both Fusion Board and in general?
I think even though secretary seems like the role that's meant for introverted people, it might be like too behind the scenes. I think one thing to step up the secretary role beyond that scene is, like I said, to be that administering presence, to reach out to people and talk to them, and also in terms of board, just being the one who's overseeing all the tasks and making sure everything is finalized and reaching out and making sure deadlines are being met, and if they aren't being met, just to reach out to them.
Next question. What specific experiences or moments of your internship do you believe make you qualified for the secretary position?
I think one moment for my internship experience was planning our intern week. I know that was a pretty hectic week for us because we just newly got into those positions, and then all of a sudden we have our intern week. So I was one of those main voices who initiated the conversation to start planning for our intern week, and during our intern week meeting, I was one of the main people who showed all of the itinerary, made sure everything was planned out. What do we have for this day, and this day? What do the logistics look like for our general meeting? And just organizing all of the ideas that we had into a document was one of the things that made me realize that secretary might be a position for me.
The last question is, when you play musical instruments from now on, would you rather play opposite-handed or upside down for the rest of your life?
I think opposite-handed, because I feel like if you can play guitar and then turn it around and then play it on the other hand, it'd be like a cool party trick. I guess if you play upside down, you're still playing with your right hand. It's nothing new. So, being ambidextrous is kind of a flex, and I kind of look up to people who are different like that.